Hello there, my name is Benjamin, and in this video I'm excited to introduce you to how to use Smind Style. Now let's explore how Smind Style works. When there are no section styles in the template group, the style of that template will follow the global style from the global group. When I add a Smind Style section to the template group, the style of the entire template will follow the style I just added. What does this mean? Having the Smind Style section in the global group allows your store to maintain consistency and quickly edit all Smind sections. Placing the Smind Style section in the template group enables you to create a new landing page with a different style from your store, which you can use for advertising campaigns or B testing and so on. To choose styles, go back to the admin panel. In the Smind, click on the library menu and select the Styles tab. Here, you can view and choose from the pre-made styles by our professional designers. For example, I'll choose Styles Crave and click Install. Now, click on Customize or return to the theme editor and reload the page. If you want the style you just installed to apply only to this template, add Styles Crave to the template group. If you want it to apply to all Smind sections in your store, add it to the global group. To ensure the correct style is applied, remember to check for and delete any other styles. Next, I will provide a detailed guide on the blocks in the Smind Style section. Let's get started. With Smind Style, you can customize the entire style of sections such as color, typography, layout, buttons, variants, inputs, icons, product cards, product badges, blog cards, content containers, media, dropdowns, pop-ups. Let's begin with the color block. The color block contains color schemes that help synchronize the colors across all the sections in your store. For example, if the featured collection and collection list sections both use color scheme 1, changing the colors of color scheme 1 will change the colors for all sections using that scheme. Note, if you select a color scheme but the section's color doesn't change, it's because the section is using a color block. Check and remove it from the section to apply the color scheme. Next is the typography block. In the typography block, you can customize the properties of headings and body text. For headings, you can easily change the font family, size, line height, letter spacing, and text case. For body text, you will have similar options: size, line height, and letter spacing. Buttons allow you to adjust the font family and text case of the button text. The Extras section lets you customize the font family of the price, the font family of the menu, and the font family of subheadings. The Typography Advanced block offers more flexible options, such as font size for tags from H1 to H6, font size for headings on mobile, and more detailed customizations for buttons, subheadings, badges, menus, and prices. Next, let's move on to the layout block. With the layout block, you can easily adjust sections such as page width, space between sections, and space between elements. The grid section allows you to modify the spacing within the grid both horizontally and vertically. Now let's move on to the buttons block. In the buttons block, you can adjust settings such as button padding. In the border section, you can customize the button's thickness, opacity, and corner radius. The shadow section allows you to easily select the shadow style and shadow opacity. Next, let's move on to the variants block. In the variants block, you can edit the style of all the product variants in your store. Similar to the buttons block, you can customize the border section, including border thickness, and corner radius. The shadow section lets you choose the shadow style and shadow opacity. Now, let's move on to the inputs block. In the inputs block, you have options to customize styles such as border thickness, border opacity, and corner radius, as well as the shadow style and shadow opacity. Let's move on to the icons block. In the icons block, you can adjust properties such as icon thickness, and icon scale. To change the icon style, go back to the Shopify admin panel, select the Smind application, and in the settings menu, scroll down to icons and choose the style. Then click Save. After saving, return to the editor and reload the page to see the changes. Next, let's explore the settings of the product cards block. This block has settings for product cards that are applied to all sections containing product cards. In Smind, you have similar options such as image padding, border thickness, border opacity, corner radius, shadow, and shadow opacity. To switch the style of cards from standard to card, go back to the admin panel, select the settings menu, and in the product card style section, choose card. Then save, return to the editor, and reload the page to see the change. As you can see, the product cards have switched to the card style. Similarly, you can adjust the settings in product cards to achieve the look you want. Next, let's move on to the product badges block. In the product badges block, you can adjust the corner radius of the badge, the color of the sale badge, and the color of the sold out badge. Next, let's move on to the blog cards block. Similar to product cards, in blog cards you can adjust image padding, border thickness, border opacity, and corner radius. You can also select the shadow style and shadow opacity. To change the style of blog cards, go back to the admin panel, select the Smind app, go to the settings menu, and in the blog card style section, choose card. Then save, return to the editor, and reload the page to see the changes. Now the blog cards have switched to the card style. You can now adjust the settings in blog cards as desired. Now, let's move on to the Content Containers block. In the Content Containers block, you also have options to adjust border thickness, border opacity, and corner radius. You can select the shadow style and shadow opacity. Next, let's move on to the media block. The media block applies to all standalone images that are not part of the product cards, blog cards, or content containers blocks. In the media block, you can adjust settings such as border thickness, border opacity, and corner radius. You can also select the shadow style and shadow opacity. Let's move on to the final block, Dropdown and Popup. The settings in this block will apply to all Dropdowns and Popups in Smind. You can adjust settings such as border thickness, border opacity, and corner radius. You can also select the shadow style and shadow opacity. As you can see, the style of the pop-up has also changed according to the settings I just adjusted. That's all for this tutorial on using Smind Style. By following these steps, you can easily customize your store's appearance to match your brand's unique look and feel. If you have any questions or need further assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. Thank you for watching and happy styling with Smind.